जिंदा रहे, जिंदा रहे, जिंदा रहे।
आए आज़ादार हुसैनी ये चलन जिंदा रहे,
जिंदा रहे,
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة وعبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة، ما خاب والله من تمسك بكم، وأمن من لجأ إليكم سادتي. يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز معكم فوزا عظيما. Sweeten and revive your gatherings with Allah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Alaykum as-salam. Amma ba'd. قال الله في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا تقولوا لما تصف ألسنتكم الكذب هذا حلال وهذا حرام. صدق الله العلي العظيم. SMORC, the simple equation of rational crime. We as human beings, every act, every action that we commit or make or take, is it based on calculations of what we gain and what we lose? What is it? What is there in it for me? Do we calculate every step that we take? Am I gaining or am I losing? Is it based on the fact that if I will get caught or will I succeed? Will I be victorious or will I lose? Is this how our life, the sons of Adam, is this how we live our lives? Do we think like the average mugger on the street that will I get caught if I snatch this purse? Will I get caught if I rob this store? What are the possibilities? The possibilities, maybe tonight if I rob the store, I'll make $500, 500 pounds. But then, is there a possibility that I get arrested? There is surveillance cameras. Or the store owner might have a weapon and shoot me. We count and we calculate all our actions. This person, before he commits a crime, he sits and thinks to himself, there's $500 and the possibility of that occurring is 80%, 20% of me getting caught. What is my punishment? Maybe a severe punishment of 2 years in prison. 80%, $500, he commits the act. Is this how our life goes? And is this how we live our lives? It doesn't matter if you are robbing a bank, if you are forging a signature, if you are forging a paper, if you are stealing a purse, it's still in dishonesty. And even in every situation, when you're forging a paper, when you're copy-pasting someone else's words. When you are stealing, when you are robbing, and you're being dishonest, every time you make an act, you're calculating what's my benefit and what is my loss. Gary Becker, an economist at the University of Chicago, he says that every single one of us does think like a robber at a moment of his life, and in many moments of his life. How? He says, for example, me, when I go to the gas station and I have a small amount of money, I think to myself, if I go and rob the store and pump gas and run away, who will find out? And I think of the possibilities. If I forge this paper, if I forge this signature, what is the possibility of me getting caught, and what is my punishment? The essence of Becker's theory is that our decisions, making honest actions and dishonest actions, is all based on an equation. The equation of the benefit analysis. We analyze, will I benefit or will I lose? And SMORC is the straightforward answer. Is the straightforward model of dishonesty or honesty. He's honest because he sees his privileges and his chances of succeeding are very dim, very small. But him losing and getting caught, it is very great. It's much heavier on the scale. So this is a very accurate way, or is it an accurate way of how civilizations and societies grow and function? Is that how we live our lives as humans in society? Is this how civilizations and societies live? And if it were, what were the means to stop such a life and such means of living? There are two ways. One, to place high surveillance, a high amount of cameras, policemen on every street, every corner, every supermarket, everywhere you go, there's a camera watching you. Everywhere you go, there's a policeman standing. Why? So when this person, he wants to commit a crime, he wants to snatch a purse, he starts calculating. There's a police there, there's a camera watching me, there's another police behind me. My possibilities of getting caught are very high. And then, placing very high punishments. So for example, when you pass a speed limit, your fine won't be 300 pounds, it'll be 3,000 and 5 years in prison. So this person, when he says, okay, now I'm counting, there's a police behind me, police in front of me, surveillance cameras, and if I get caught, $5,000 fine and prison, he's not going to commit this crime. Is this how our society functions, or is it in another way? If this is not correct, and we do not visualize our lives and our societies and our civilizations in the SMORC theory, there's another theory that we could look at. And seeing the honest truth and dishonesty, or the dishonesty and honesty. The next theory is the fudge factory. The fudge factory, this is when our amazing cognitive flexibility comes into play. When we think to ourselves and we live our lives based on what? I cheat a little bit, I take a little bit, and I still think I am a moral person. He's not going for the whole purse. He's not going for the whole bank. But every day he takes little by little. He's not stealing $1 million from the bank, but every day he commits credit card fraud. $50 from this guy, $100 from this guy, $20 from this guy. He does not see it as something immoral. As long as we cheat bit by bit, it is fine. As long as we benefit and we majorly don't harm anyone, you see yourself still as a moral person. I read an article about this man. He says, I had an art museum, And every year, I know I would sell over $480,000 worth of products. That is the profit that I'm supposed to gain. But at the end of the year, when the Norator would come, I only put $150,000 in my pocket. I would think to myself, where is this money going? So I came and I placed surveillance cameras the next year. I noticed that these retired workers, mainly people who love art, elderly, they thought this way. Every day, he's making $5,000 in profits for this company. But he takes $100. The second guy also takes $100. The third guy takes $100. Every day, about 1,000 disappears from the bank, from the profits. By the end of the year, 360,000 are gone. But these people, if you tell them, would you steal $360,000 from your boss? You'd say, no, of course not. Of course not. But when he sees $100 every day, it's something normal. I'm not harming him. This is not something wrong. It's just $100. It's just my tank of gas. It's nothing more. And the best way to describe it for everyone that lives in the society is when we have to file for our taxes. And how many people are caught making this mistake without realizing, thinking that this is not morally wrong. This dishonesty is not wrong. We would think it is legitimate to write off a portion of our car repairs into our business expenses. The first car, I get into a car crash, I write it off as a business expense, so I don't have to pay taxes on it. And then I have another car. Well, it's not going to harm anyone if I write off the second expense on my other car as well as my business expense. You bring 20,000 cigarettes and you lie to the customs and you say, this is for my personal use. They might believe you, but you're a liar. You're going to go and sell them. You're lying. You're dishonest. You're partaking in an unfruitful act. Saying that, no, it's for my personal use. While you've bought it from another country, 1/3 the price, then you come to this country and you sell a packet of cigarette for 10 pounds. This is irrationally thinking. Using dishonesty to please yourself. But when it's at a small portion, you don't think of it to be wrong. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Jeremy K. Jeremy, an author of a book called The Three Men in a Boat. This novel was written in 1889. It describes the dishonesty during his time, inside his society, which this topic was a topic that every single man in his neighborhood, in society, would lie about, and that was fishing. He says that these three men, they go on a boat. They say to themselves that however much we catch, just add 25% to that number. And it's not dishonest. It's not a sin. You see the same thing. All of society think this way. You just add 25%. That's not going to hurt anyone. It's not going to change anything. Instead of adding on your tax form, you deduct 25%. It's not, who's going to know? But unfortunately, sometimes they find out, the IRS comes and holds you, and you're in trouble. And you see this even in your own communities, that someone goes to prison because he did not pay his taxes. So these three brothers, they say, we'll just add 25%. No one's going to realize, as humans, how much of this do we do in everyday life. Over 25%, it is a sin. It's something unlawful. It's something unfruitful. But under 25%, something that people don't notice, it's normal. you're still living a moral life. They say a person, he was sitting home and then he got a call from the principal of his son that your son is suspended, come and take him home. He goes, he takes his son home. Principal, what did my son do? Your son stole his classmates' pencils. So he's suspended. The father is very angry. He drives him home. Haven't I told you not to do this? Haven't I told you to respect your classmates? If you ever need pencils, just tell me. I could bring you a dozen from work. Alright, this is how people think. This is how people think. He tells his son not to steal because it's morally wrong. You broke another kid's heart, but it's fine for him to take 12 pencils from his work. Take a dozen. Take a pack of papers, Xerox papers to your house. Take the stapler from your work. Everything that you could freeload from your work and your boss, you do. You take everything home. And you think, this is not wrong. When in honesty, you're being dishonest with your work atmosphere, with your society, with your peers, with your co-workers. Dishonesty can come in many ways and sprout in many ways in our life. We work, we're on salary. Our boss calls us, oh, I'm on my business site. I'm on the floor while you're sitting on your couch and you're enjoying a popcorn and watching a movie. You clock in, you're taking money from your boss and from your work while you're sitting at your desk and doing nothing, playing solitaire on your computer. This is cheating. You're being dishonest. You're dishonest when you go to school. You cheat, you forge. You're being dishonest. You're not truly earning this grade. You're not truly working for it. But we don't realize that we're being dishonest, and Islam does not abide by these laws. He doesn't see them as fit in the Islamic character. You have clients, you give them meaningless fees. You just add hidden fees in their bills. And you think it is correct. But this is normal. Why? Because all of society sees it to be okay. When you take small portions, people see it as it's fine. You're not harming anyone. Take $100 a day. Take the stapler from work and never take it back. Take Xerox papers every day. Take 12 pencils for your child. It's okay. They don't see it as a problem. On the other hand, you have someone, he breaks into your car, he steals your GPS system that's worth $500. You see it as such a big crime. You call the police. This guy stole my GPS. Let's take fingerprints. Let's find him. Is there a surveillance camera around here? Let's find him. How does he look like? Well, that $500 did not really change your life. Even if they stole 500 GPS systems from you, you wouldn't be harmed. But this person, you see him as such a bad person. While at the same time, your lawyer, your accountant, your insurance agent, they're all taking hidden fees from you every day. Every day. Meaningless fees. And that's enough for you to buy a new car. But you don't see it as a problem. You don't see it as a problem because he's not taking hard, cold cash from you. They're both wrong. They're both wrong. Both people are dishonest. Both of them are dishonest. But society sees the white collar to be normal. He's a noble man. He's working hard. He went to college. He's earning those fees. No, he's not. He's taking them when he's not supposed to. This man who can't go to school, he can't afford it, he's going to steal a GPS system and he's going to sell it to someone half the price. Why? So he could earn the living. But in all honesty, if you put them on the scale, aren't they the same? Aren't they the same? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. You have a dentist, he buys new equipment. A patient comes to him, he doesn't need a root canal, but because he's bought this new equipment, he's going to drill him up. He's going to drill him up. Why? Because the insurance is going to pay for it. I have to make use of this new machine. I paid $2 million for it. I might as well use it. I bought all these new equipment, all these cavities, even though he doesn't have cavities. Let me just tell him he has cavities so I could get rid of this inventory. This man doesn't need a surgery, but if I make the surgery, I'm going to go into this newspaper. I could become a famous doctor, maybe get a TV show. This guy doesn't need the surgery. You just cut him up. That's fine. My motivations don't see it as something dishonest. I'm a doctor. This is my line of work. And this is what occurs in every person's life. Dishonesty isn't only stealing cardhold cash. It's not going to the bank, holding a gun, wearing a mask, and telling everybody to sleep on their stomachs and you empty the bank. Or stealing someone's car. It's not just Grand Theft Auto. But when you're doing this every day of your life, taking little by little, you're the same. You're still the same dishonest person. A game like golf. A game like golf. People love this game because it has no rules. There's no one looking at what they do. He kicks the ball a little bit. He putts it a little bit. There's no one looking around. He goes in the ditch. His friend's still back there. He throws the ball. This is how we live our life. We measure things. Am I going to get caught? Is my friend looking at me right now? Let me throw the ball a couple of meters to the right, to the left. Because I'm a doctor, no one's going to hold me accountable. Because I know the laws. Because I know what the law will come and ask from me. Because I've studied law, I know how to take and I know how to give. But in reality, this is all dishonesty. We cheat at work. We cheat in our exams. We exaggerate in everything. He caught a fish, he says, I caught 100. This is all forms of dishonesty, brothers and sisters. Let it be the Smork theory or the Fudge Factory theory. In both ways, you're being dishonest. You're being dishonest. And this is a problem. This is why you see so many problems in society. Why there is poor, why there is extremely rich, why you see people under depression, why you see people go bankrupt, why people are doing fraud. This is all through dishonesty. Maybe sometimes it's through the fudge factory where you can't live your life, but thinking that people are always stealing from you. You're not going to get married because you're scared your wife just wants you for your passports or for your money. You're scared to have kids because you fear they're going to come and take over your house and they're going to throw you out. You're scared to leave your office because you're scared your coworker is going to come and steal your documents, or he's going to steal your invoices, and he's going to take the commission, and he's going to steal your wallet. Or the fudge factory, when you take little by little and you think you're still a noble and righteous person. But you're no different than a mugger. He's taking something that's physical, you're taking something by credit cards, you're taking something by fees. There's no difference. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now we as Muslims, do we agree with these theories? To some sorts of extent, yes, we do. Because this is how the human works. This is his natural way of life. These people that make these studies, they see people's life in their physical form. They test 500 subjects, 1,000 subjects, 30,000 subjects, sometimes in school campuses, sometimes on the streets, and they see how these people physically act. They test them, and they write these analysis. So we can't disagree with these theories, because this is how human acts. It's his nature. When he sees that there's no one around, I'm going to eat this. There's no one knowing that I'm fasting. I'm not breaking my fast right now. My mom isn't around. My dad isn't around. Let me make myself a quick sandwich and I'll tell them I'm fasting. It's all based on possibilities. No one's looking. No one's going to notice. Let me add these $500 into his fee and his invoice. That's it. Here you go. Business closed. Deal closed. You're on your way. We as humans, we do live this way, so we can't decline these theories. We do calculate everything. But Islam and religion comes and tells you there is more to it behind just calculations. What is there? There's something that these professors, that these doctors do not see. They only see the physical aspect of it. They don't see the metaphysical aspect of decision making in people's lives. That there's something much greater than it. It's not just based on calculations. Why are these calculations made? Why are these calculations made? Is there something metaphysical behind it? Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on the tongue of Yusuf, He says, وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسِ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. These calculations are done by your nafs. Your nafs is the one that does all these calculations for you. It's not like he sits and he thinks, he's putting numbers in his head. Most of these people probably can't even add 1 plus 1. But he's still calculating his nafs. His nafs is telling him, do this, do that. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi afdal as-salatu was-salam says, النفس الأمارة المسولة تتملق تملق المنافق وتتصنع بمشيئة الصديق. Your nafs, the soul that you have that's constantly telling you to calculate and do wrong things, unfruitful acts, it's so hypocritical. It comes to you as a friend. Yes, put those fees in. Yes, declare this as part of your business fee and it wasn't an accident. Take 12 pencils, do this, do this. It agrees upon everything. It's the one that's showing you the wrong path. النفس الأمارة بالسوء. And it comes to you as if it's your friend. You know, when you take this from your work, you're benefiting. Be lazy at work. You're benefiting. You already have your salary. He can't deduct from your salary. Do this, do that. It's always acting as if you're a friend and it wants to benefit you, but it's stabbing you in the back. This is the difference between Islam to those theory. It adds on upon it that we humans, we have part of our soul that's always telling us to go to the seductions of this world, to say yes to our desires. Yes, it does calculate, but always shows what's wrong as a higher percentage. And this is why people fall into traps. This is why people fall into mistakes. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So what must we do as Muslims so we don't fall in this trap? So we don't calculate everything. Not everything in life is based on calculations and analysis of gain, profit, or loss and defeat. That there is something else controlling us. What should we do to not fall in this deadly trap? This trap of our nafs al-ammarati bis-su'. Shaitan, waswasatu shaitan. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect you from the shaitans, from the man and the jinn. that come and whisper in your ear, do this, do that. Your nafs, الذي وسوس في صدور الناس. They say there was an Israeli worshipper from the sons of Israel. He worshipped all his life in a cave, to a point that when the people would come and ask him to make a certain prayer for them, Allah would grant his wish. When people were sick, they would take their ill to him and he would pray on them, and they will see shifa and healing. One day, two brothers, they take their ill sister, she's mentally ill, to this man, knowing that this young lady is beautiful, but she's ill. She's ill, she's mentally ill. This man, shaitan comes to him, his nafs al-ammara comes to him. You've been in this cave all your life, you're such a loser. This is your chance. No one will know. Tell them to leave her and you keep her with you. No one will know. No one will know. It's speaking to you as if it's your friend, trying to benefit you, while it's a hypocrite trying to harm you. He tells them, keep her here. I have to do some work, some dua, some supplications, some purple potions. Feed her, and she'll be good by a week. So they leave. Shaitan and his nafs starts to encourage him to sleep with her. He rapes her. And then shaitan comes to him and his nafs comes to him. This girl got pregnant. What if she's pregnant? Everyone's going to find out. You're the holiest man in the city. What are you going to do? His nafs comes to him and tells him, kill her. He kills her and he buries her. A week later, the brothers come. Where's our sister? Oh, she became good and she left. She went back. It's been a week. She's not been home. Where is she? A crow comes, it sits on a pile of dirt, and it keeps moving the dirt. It keeps moving the dirt, and they see that there's a corpse. They come, the brothers, they come and see what this crow is pecking on. They see that it is a corpse. They remove the dirt, and it's their younger sister. They come to kill him. They want to kill him. Shaitan comes to him again. His nafs comes to him again and tells him, I will save you. I will save you if you worship me. This man has been worshipping Allah all his life. A moment in his life, the last moment of his life, shaitan and his nafs deceives him as if it is benefiting him. Worship me. Just close your eyes, declare that you are worshipping me, and I will save you. He declares with his eyes, he prostrates, and he takes Satan as his Lord. They behead him, and this is how he dies. This is our nafs. This is how shaitan deceives us. This is how we make our calculations. Another man, it said from the sons of Israel, he was a very holy man. There was a holy tree in their city. They would go pray by this tree. He hears that shaitan or a man has come to cut down their tree. He runs. He sees Satan is about to swing the axe at this tree. He goes and he wrestles him down and he throws him to the ground. He tells him to leave. About a week later, he hears the same thing. The next time he goes there, Satan has a new idea. I know how to play with his nafs, with his soul, and nafs al-ammara. This time he takes a big bag of golden coins. Before he comes to wrestle him, he tells him, hold up. I have $1 million to give you, $2 million to give you. Just leave me alone. And I'm not going to touch the tree. Just take this money as a gift from me, because I saw that you're a good man. His nafs comes, yeah, take the money. It's $2 million free dollars. He takes the money. The third week, same thing occurs, but when he comes to wrestle shaitan at this time, shaitan wrestles him down. He tells him, you gave in. You gave in your nafs. The first time, your nafs was strong. Your soul was strong. That's how you beat me. But now, you're my slave. if you let Satan grab you from one hair, you're permanently his. You become his slave. Same thing with your nafs and your desires. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. In preparation, we should learn from our Prophet, from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alih. The Prophet in the beginning of the month of Muharram, the New Year's, he would make a prayer, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to destroy the evil in him, to remove Satan away from him, to destroy an-nafs al-ammarati in him. He says, Allahumma anta al-ilahu al-qadim, wa hadhihi sanatun jadida, فأسألك فيها العصمة من الشيطان والقوة على هذه النفس الأمارة بالسوء. Oh Allah, give me strength that I wrestle down my shaitan and I beat this nafs al-ammara that's deceiving me. It comes to you as a friend, but it is not. It's a hypocrite. It's harming you. And why does the Prophet first ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove Satan from him, to take him away from him? Because as we know in pathology, there is two types of disease, two types of viruses. Correct me if I am wrong. One is apparent. It comes to you, and you realize it, like a cold or a stomach virus. As soon as you get the virus, you spend the whole day in the restroom. You're puking. Your stomach is constantly going out. It's out of order. You have a fever. You know you're sick. This is apparent. When this flu or virus comes into your body, you could take a NyQuil. You could take some medicine. So it destroys this virus. But then there is another type of virus that you don't realize has entered your body. That's why all of a sudden you hear of a person, he had a stroke and he died. How did he know? He didn't know he was sick, he was ill. All of a sudden you hear of this man, he falls and they take him to the emergency room. The doctors tell him you have 3 weeks to live. Cancer has taken all over your body. He didn't know. Why didn't he know? Because this virus, you can't tell that it's entered your body. HIV, it could be in your body for many years and attack you at the least time that you expect it, and take your life. Shaitan and your nafs play the same role. How? The tradition of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi says, إن الشيطان ليجري من ابن آدم مجرى الدم من العروق. Shaitan, he flows in your veins without you realizing. He comes into you. This virus enters your body without you even realizing. Our heart pumps 300 liters of blood per minute into our body. Can some of us say, oh, this minute, I could feel my blood pumping really fast. Or my heart I could feel the blood going through my veins. No, you don't even feel it. You don't feel the blood that's going to your brain, to your fingers, to your feet. It's constantly happening. 500 liters of blood. But this is reality. Some viruses, some diseases come into our bodies, into our souls without us even realizing. Joseph, he stands before the wife of the king while she is seducing him. He says, وَمَا أَبْرُؤُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسِ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. Yes, my soul, it wants to deceive me. This lady, she takes off her clothes before him. What does he do? How does he react? We should learn from Yusuf, this great prophet. She undresses, she throws her clothes on the idol. He tells her, why have you thrown your clothes on the idol? She says, so he cannot see, my Lord, my God, the statue cannot see my mishap, my unfruitful acts. She's calculating. Because I have placed my clothes on the statue, there's no surveillance. I won't get into trouble. But Yusuf says, but my Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees everything. He hears everything. This is how we should act. When our nafs comes to us and tells us to do something, learn from our prophets. Our prophets aren't just names. They're not myths. They are stories for us to learn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed them in our holy book so we learn from them, so our lives can be changed. He says, my Lord can see everything, and he runs. She grabs him from behind his shirt. He says, no, I don't care. Whatever you say, I know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking. I know He's judging me. If you're thinking of this worldly punishment, I am thinking of eternal punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When she undressed, he wasn't thinking, what's going to happen in this world? Is the king going to find out? Are the mistresses going to find out? Is someone going to see me? Is it someone going to see me? But she had locked every door to her room. It said that there were several doors until you reached the door of the king's wife. She had locked every single one of them, thinking that no one's going to come. By the time the first door opens, I'll go back to normal. Calculating the fact that she won't be punished in this life. But Yusuf is calculating eternal punishment. He can hear everything. He can see everything, brothers and sisters. And our nafs is very similar to some mythical stories. The Romans believed that once you prayed for a certain god, he gained power. If you prayed for power and you brought the name of Hercules, Hercules became stronger. The war of God, the God of war became stronger. The God of love, when you asked him for love and compassion, he became stronger. And same thing with the gods of evil. When you committed evil, they became stronger. When you did something righteous, the righteous God like Zeus and so on, they would become more powerful. Exactly what we do with our nafs, brothers and sisters. The more you give it, the more you fuel to it, the more stronger it becomes. And once you have given it so much, it won't be the donkey or the horse that you will be riding. No, it will be the donkey that rides you. The more you give it, the more it takes. The stronger it becomes. Thus, the Prophet tells us to fight the beast within us. The Muslims have come back from war. He tells them, you just made your small jihad. This is the small one. It's a minor one. Now, fight your soul. Fight this nafs al-ammarati bis-su'. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ. You want help on your nafs? Do you want to tire it? Do you want to work it so it can't harm you? وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ. Use your patience and your prayer and worship. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You won't go through misguided paths. Don't let your soul leech everything that you have within you. Just because someone tells you to do this, you want to please others, you're calculating in society, in school, if I do this, if I become a certain type of people, if I do these things, I will be more accepted in society. When life is not this way, brothers and sisters. Because soon, all of us will go into dirt. And that's when reality kicks in. That's when reality kicks in. Live on the commandments of Allah. Live on the commandments of your religion. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Amir al-Mu'mineen is the leader of the Muslims. If he didn't take for himself, this is one aspect. But his brother Aqil, he comes to him, he tells him, I have a lot of kids. Ali, you have all this wealth, give me some of it. Ali tells him, I'll show you what I'll give you. He goes and he grabs a metal rod, he places it in the fire, he hides it behind his back. He tells him, Aqil, show me your hand. He puts the metal rod in his hand. He tells him, Aqil, you want my soul to deceive me so I can burn? If you can't even take this fire, this metal rod, you think I am willing to burn myself on the day of judgment for you, Aqil? No. And Aqil, because of that incident, his life changed. His own brother changed his life. He made him realize what reality is. Yes, he thought to himself, if my brother gives me calculations, no one's going to know, no one's going to be harmed. He was basing everything on calculations, analyzing, am I losing or am I benefiting? Ali ibn Abi Talib places his head in an oven, thinking to himself, that destroy and burn the beast within you. Because if you don't burn the beast within you, if you don't slay the dragon within you, it's going to slay you. It's going to destroy you. And this is reality, brothers and sisters. We have to kill the beast within us. The greatest jihad is not carrying a sword, especially in our time. The greatest jihad is that you fight your inner nafs. Fight shaitan and his deviance. And that's when you become prosperous. That's when society changes. That's when society changes. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. Those who do tazkiyatun nafs, purify their souls and stand against the beast that's inside them, they are victorious. And those who feed it, قَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. They are losers. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى وَذَكَرَ اسْمَ رَبِّهِ فَصَلَّى. Remember your Lord at all times. When your nafs and shaitan tells you to do this, to make this operation, it's okay, the insurance company won't find out. Tell your nafs, Allah is watching me. Tell your nafs, I won't do this. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. A Christian man comes to the masjid of Rasulullah. He comes inside. The Muslims are telling him, why are you coming inside here? You're a Christian. What do you have inside a mosque? He tells them, I saw a dream yesterday that your prophet came to me with Jesus. Jesus, the son of Mary. And Jesus, the son of Mary, held my hand and he told me that this man, Muhammad, continued my message and he is the true messenger. So as of last night, I declared within myself the Shahadatain. And to make it clear, take me to someone that's from the descendants of this man, your prophet. It was the time of Imam Hussein. They take him to the house of Imam Hussein. He tells Imam Hussein, this happened with me, and I am here to make my Shahadatain before you. The Imam welcomes him into the religion of Islam, into the religion of his grandfather. Then he asks this man, this newcomer to Islam, he tells him, do you want me to show you someone that resembled the Prophet more than anyone? Do you want to see the face of our Prophet? This man is staggered. He's very happy. Yes, of course I want to see the Prophet. Imam Hussein calls his son Ali al-Akbar. He's a very small child. They have veiled him because of his beauty. They have veiled him because of his beauty. He tells his servant, remove the veil upon my child's face. Remove it from his face. This man, from the beauty of Ali al-Akbar, he faints. He wakes up, he says, Wallah, this is exactly the same person I saw in my dream. The same light, the same characteristics. He tells him, oh man, if you had such a son, if you had such a son and a thorn went into his feet, what would you do? What would you do? He says, oh Imam Hussein, I would kill myself. I would die if my son with this beauty, with this characteristics, Imam in tears turns to him. He tells him, but my son Ali, I will see him torn into pieces before my eyes. I will see him cut into pieces by the swords, by the spears. You see this beautiful son that I have? He will be cut into pieces before me. It's not a thorn. My son will become irban iraba. Irban iraba. When Imam Hussein wanted to carry his son Ali al-Akbar, he would carry his left side of the body, the right side would fall. He would carry him from the top of his body, the bottom would fall. He was torn into pieces, brothers and sisters. Imagine, your son, you see him, he gets a cold. You are so upset, you can't sleep through the night. Your child, because he is ill, you're so stressed. Imam Hussein, what did he have to go through? What did he have to go through? You have a beautiful son, you adore him, you kiss him. You want him to sit in front of you day and night. Imam Hussein saw his son, his beloved son, his oldest son, torn into pieces. Every single one of the companions had fallen. Now it's only the time for Hashimis to protect Imam Hussein. And who is the first man to step to the plate? It is Ali al-Akbar. He comes to his father, he says, oh my father, it is not of justice if I am your son, not the first shaheed in your path. I should be the first Hashimi to spill his blood for you, oh my father Hussein. Imagine, brothers and sisters, you have to bid farewells with your son. You know you're never going to see him again. This is not something easy. You know your son is going and you're never going to see him again. You're never going to see him again. Imam Hussein holds him and he starts to cry. He starts to cry because he loved Ali al-Akbar so much. The poet says, you should have seen Hussein. His enemies say, you should have seen this scene of how this father holds his son and he cries and he falls to the ground. وَالِي وَالِي مِنْ تَلَاقَوْا عِنْدِ الْوَدَاعِ شَمَّا وَبَكَى وَنَاحَ وَطَاحَ عَلَى الْقَاعِ. He holds his son, he tears, he cries, and he falls to the ground. Then he tells him, oh my son, go make your grandfather happy. Before Ali al-Akbar walks to the battleground, Imam Hussein points to the sky, speaking with his Lord. Allahumma ashhad ala ha'ula'i al-qawm فقد برز إليهم غلام أشبه الناس خلقا وخلقا ومنطقا لرسولك صلى الله عليه وآله وكنا إذا اشتقنا لرسولك نظرنا إلى هذا الغلام. Oh Allah, bear witness that the person with the most resemblance to Rasulullah has walked to the battleground. After the death of Rasulullah, if we wanted to remember our grandfather, if the Muslimin wanted to remember Muhammad, they would come and look at Ali al-Akbar. He enters the battleground. The enemy is astonished. Has Muhammad come to take revenge because we have stood against his grandson? Some of them put their swords back and they start to run. What is the punishment Allah has in store for us? Umar ibn Sa'd says, no, you fools, this is Ali, the son of Hussein, attack him. He starts to recite, أنا علي بن حسين بن علي نحن ورب البيت أولى بالنبي أضربكم بالسيف أحمي عن أبي ضربة غلام هاشمي قرشي تلاه لا يحكم بين ابن الدعي. I am Ali, the son of Hussein, and we are the closest people to our Prophet Rasulullah. Till my last breath I will protect my father Hussein, and a person like Yazid will never rule over this household. This is what we learn from Imam Hussein. That injustice will never rule upon us, brothers and sisters. It will never rule upon us. He starts to fight courageously. He fights and he takes 120 of the enemies of Allah to their destination. They think it is Ali, come back and resurrected. He's going from the left of the battleground to the right until Imam Hussein, he would stand outside his tent and look at his son Ali al-Akbar. When he would fight courageously, he would become happy, and the resemblance of happiness would show on his face. Layla sitting in the tent, she sees Imam Hussein, his face has changed. She tells him, oh Imam Hussein, what is it? My son has fallen. He says, no, but there is a man standing before him. Ibn Ghanim, I fear for my son Ali. Oh Layla, go into your tent and pray for your son's return. She goes in her tent. She faces the Qibla. She raises her hands. Ilahi بغربة أبي عبد الله الحسين. Ilahi بعطش أبي عبد الله. Oh my Lord, for the sake of Hussein's thirst, send me back my son Ali. يا راد يوسف إلى يعقوب رد علي ولدي علينا. يا راد يوسف من مغيب على يعقوب ومسجب نحيبه أريدك علي إلي سالم تجيبه. Oh, the one who returned Yusuf for Yaqub, please bring me back my son Ali. Ali becomes victorious. He comes back to the tent. He looks at his father. Oh, my father, thirst and the sun have killed me. I cannot fight no longer. Oh, my father, if there is a cup of water for me to drink, so I could go and continue my fight. Oh, my father, I am thirsty. I can't carry my sword. I am tired. Imam Hussein starts to cry. Oh, my father, why are you crying? Imam Hussein shows him his tongue. Ali al-Akbar starts to cry. Oh, my father, your tongue looks like a wooden stick. He tells him, yes, my son, I am thirstier than you. Go to your mother's tent. She has been awaiting you. His mother looks at him. She hugs him. She tells him, Ali, walk before me so I could see you one last time. Ali al-Akbar leaves the tent for one last time. He goes back into the battlefield tired. He is fighting courageously. فقال مرة بن منقذ العبدي على آثام العرب إن لم أثكل أمه وأباه. It is an injustice to the Arabs if I don't make his father and mother weep for his death. He comes from behind, hits him with a spear in his back, and then hits him on his head with a sword. The blood of Ali gushes on the eyes of the horse. أين المنادي وعليا. The horse takes Ali to the enemies. They surround him from every corner. They cut him into pieces. He calls his father, عليك مني السلام يا أبا عبد الله. هذا جدي قد سقاني بكأسه. Imam Hussein runs to him. He places his face on the face of his son. He carries the blood of his son and he places it into his beard. He says, this is how I want to be resurrected on the day of judgment. He tells his son, Ya Ali ala dunya ba'dika al-afa ma ajra'ahum ala ar-Rahman. He wants to carry his son. He tells them to come carry their brother, to carry their cousin. Abbas carries a part of Ali al-Akbar. Hussein carries a part of Ali al-Akbar. The Hashim clan come carrying each single one of them a part of the limbs of Ali. He takes him back